Step up your real estate value with Staged Right. I'm Laura Fong, your host for Common Sense, and if your house is on the market, it's all about the wow factor. Today's Staged Right shows us all the furniture and accessories it takes to make a property look like a dream home.
If there's two houses next to each other and one is staged and one isn't and they're priced the same, that one that's not staged is helping sell the one that is by making it look that much better.
When a house gets listed, realtors and sellers have to prepare the property so potential buyers can check it out. They have a few options here. They can show the house empty or spice it up.
Our recommendation is to not sell a house vacant, but to make it warm and inviting. And so what we do is we provide everything you could imagine to furnish and accessorize a house that would be vacant and for sale.
Laura Kistemaker is the founder and owner of Staged Right, a full-service home staging and interior design company that serves the South Bay.
It started like just as a side little company where I thought, oh, I'll, do this every so often, to consuming my life. And, now I have a large business.
Laura started the company in 2005 after some realtor friends recommended she take her interior design skills into home staging.
Staging was just getting started. It was popular in other places, but not so much Torrance in the South Bay. And they said, hey, you should do this. And then went, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I think the need was there, and they just kept referring me to people, and it kept building and building, and here I am today.
The company quickly grew from a handful of homes to up to 20 packed houses at once, some up to 5,000 square feet. So what is home staging exactly?
Home staging is preparing a property for sale. You would make everything as perfect as possible so that you're selling sort of the dream of the house that the people are going to come in and see.
A lot of work goes into the finished product, or home showcase, so to speak.
It takes a lot of preparation to even to get to the day that we're going to stage. The hardest part of the job is actually preparing and pulling the inventory and having it all ready to go. The easiest part is actually unloading and setting it up.
Before any furniture can be loaded and unpacked at a house, Laura does a lot of planning. Here's a peek into her process.
It's almost like doing a Pinterest for your house. We'll look at the style of the house, and we'll look at our inventory.
Each aisle in the warehouse is packed with goodies, from dishes for the dining areas to pillows for every room, whether it's for couches, beds, or the outdoors, to plants and greenery. Then there's tabletop decorations and artwork to hang.
My warehouse is a store, and we go through each area and pick out the most appropriate things for that house.
To help the team pull everything they'll need for a staging, Laura gives them printouts with each room and items needed for the staging.
Each room, I'll sort of plug in the sofa I'm going to use, the rug I'm going to use, the chairs, and all of us are pretty well trained on, like if I say it's a modern house, they know to pull the more modern stuff versus the more traditional stuff.
After Laura and her team stage a house, sometimes the original owners barely recognize the place.
You'll usually need a fresh set of eyes to kind of give you perspective because you've lived in your house so long, you're so used to the way things are. So sometimes people are really surprised at how I come up with rearranging their furniture, or how I stage their vacant house might be completely different than they ever had their furniture set up.
This show is moving from the planning stage to the setup. When we come back, we get staging tips and tricks from the expert.
The way we live in our houses is not the way we sell them.
Welcome back. We're learning about home staging and how important it is when it comes to selling a house these days.
It used to be that it was enough to just declutter your house and kind of rearrange things, and now people, I think, need to be impressed more. So for the most part, the people I work with, they're moving all their furniture out, and I'm moving all my stuff in because you want a cohesive designer look.
Part of the reason people have shifted more towards staging is online listings.
the internet has changed everything. I think people have already decided if they like a house before they even go to the house by looking at the photos online. And so furniture and accessories and the way it's set up are so important.
Staging is one thing, but when it comes to getting top dollar for the house, a little work goes a long way, which is why Laura also does consultations too, where she recommends property improvements to spruce things up.
We can make some suggestions regarding that, like changing paint colors, landscaping, light fixtures, those kind of things.
If you don't have the time or budget to fix things up, Laura has seen staging shift the attention away. For instance, the team staged a house in the Riviera in South Torrance.
The kitchen was remodeled, but the bathrooms weren't. And I think when there's nothing else to focus on and you're just walking through a house that's empty, you notice more of those little details than you do if a house is completely pulled together. And you walk in to a furnished house when it's done correctly and you go, wow.
This home also had a couple turquoise accent walls, which Laura says is unusual in homes for sale, but she played to the color.
We put that turquoise color in all of our accessories and accents. In fact, we carried it through the whole house. It was in the bedrooms, it was in the kitchen, it was in the dining. So we just kind of pulled it all together and it made it feel, what I think the intention of the seller was to make it feel like beachy and modern. Even though it wasn't a completely modern house, by adding those elements through the furnishings, art, and accessories, it really did pull it all together.
The furniture and art is definitely something to look at, but it also helps potential buyers envision life in the home.
It also lets people see how they would use the house or how they might furnish it themselves. And it gives someone a place to sit, and especially if there's a view or any kind of nice backyard, just to be able to sit and ponder how you would live in a house in comfortable furniture, really gives you an element other than just walking through a cold, vacant house.
And if the new buyer, potential buyers, or even the realtor falls in love with something in the house, it's all for sale.
We are totally open to selling anything to anybody, and a lot of new homeowners need stuff for their house, and if everything's set up right and they like the way it looks, they'll oftentimes ask about purchasing things. And sometimes they'll purchase everything, sometimes they'll just purchase a piece of art, some pillows. But that is definitely one aspect of the business that we strive to have it look like they'd want to move in and keep everything exactly the way it is.
That's because Laura goes out of her way to find unique furniture and accessories people would want to have in their house.
The way I look at my business is I want to bring in things that people would actually want to buy for their house. So I try to bring in the high quality things and things that you wouldn't necessarily see in stores.
Staged Right's designer look has helped sell homes. The house in the Riviera is the perfect example.
It sold within a couple of weeks after we staged it, and it had been on the market, I think, at least a month or two before we staged it, not selling. So that was a good example of how to do it right.
Now that you're sold, stick around. After the break, we learn more about the business side of Staged Right and where the company is headed.
It really is about that first impression. It's so important, and you can't ever get that back.
That's true for staging and for running a business. We've almost closed on this episode, but we've got a few more things to go over with Staged Right.
It's really important to be reliable. I think one reason that I am in business still is I have a good reputation and that my business has grown as being reliable and always being dependable in terms of you're going to get a good product.
When it comes to staging, clients can expect an element of Staged Right's signature style.
I do adjust the style for the type of staging. So if it's modern, it's a little less accessories, a little more clean line furniture. the art changes, things like that. But I always do kind of bring in an element of the ocean.
Laura goes for the beachy look when picking colors, artwork, accessories, and more to make the connection for buyers.
I only stage in the South Bay area, and that's one reason people come here to live is the proximity to the ocean. So when somebody's paying $1 million for a little tiny house in Torrance, you want to go, okay, I'm paying that because, oh, the ocean's right there. So I can drive, 10 minutes, 15 minutes and be at the ocean. And so you're always trying to evoke those little triggers into somebody's mind when they're walking through a house.
Stage Right doesn't disappoint, and that's thanks in part to the hardworking team, which is made up of local moms.
All of them I've known for years, so they're all great ladies. Totally trust them and present themselves so professionally. I think that's also a big distinguishing thing for me, is the level of people I have that work with me.
While the movers are not technically Stage Right employees, they're part of the Stage Right family.
It's funny because a lot of the movers that work with me, they work with me on a regular basis now because they're used to my account. And they all have their opinions about design, and a lot of them are really good at it.
Laura has been working with the moving company, Heritage 21st Century, a division of Wheaton, for years. She's found it's easier to have a good working relationship with the moving company than hiring her own movers.
It's really nice to have Wheaton to call for the moving services because it's another element I don't have to necessarily manage. You can only manage so much.
That's because Laura already has a lot to manage, from all the inventory in the warehouse to working with clients and deciding on design, but she's got the right skills to handle it.
My degree in school is design and art, so I'm very creative, but I'm also really practical and very businesslike because I worked for many years as a manager in business and marketing. I kind of combine both of my skill sets to creating this company.
The home staging side of her business has grown steadily. Now Laura plans to use that success and those contacts to focus on the interior design side.
I meet a lot of my clients actually when I stage their houses. I will come in and actually help somebody in a similar fashion to what I do for staging, buy furniture, accessories, art, help them with paint colors, remodeling, that kind of thing.
There's a small sample room in the warehouse so clients can come and check out fabric and rug samples and catalogs with furniture to create their own unique designer look.
It's kind of like a best of both worlds. So they can see the product in action in a house and buy it, or they can come over here and see other stuff that they might want to purchase.
Stage Right plans to continue making an impression on the South Bay with homes both big and small.
You do sort of see the transformation, especially when they're a little bit dated. It's almost like, wow, we did this. I can't believe this house turned into this.
Thank you to all the Lauras for making this episode happen. First, a big thanks to Laura Kistemaker from Stage Right for welcoming us to their warehouse, and the realtor Laura Greco from Berkshire Hathaway for letting Common Sense check out the staged home, and congratulations to Laura who bought the home featured in this episode. If you want to learn more about home staging and interior design, you can give Laura Kistemaker a call at 310-766-6823 or head to their website, stagerightonline.com. And while you're online, head to our Facebook page, Common Sense Torrance, to see some behind-the-scenes action. And while you're there, hit that thumbs up. And to see more Common Sense episodes, please subscribe to our YouTube page, Torrance CitiCABLE. Stage Right has everything you'll need to make a house feel like a home, even food, but remember it's staged, so I wouldn't try it. I just want to thank you so much for watching Common Sense, where we offer you a rare, behind-the-scenes look at local businesses and explore the secrets to their success.